We got the Dead Space remake, PlayStation 5. I have a history with this game. A long, long history. I'm somewhat of a Dead Space fan. I'm somewhat of a Dead Space professional. It has been a long, long time since I've played Dead Space. This is the remake. I've played it and beaten it once. I've played and beaten the original hundreds of times. Platinumed it on PS3. Got all the achievements on Xbox 360. We're gonna do a new game. We're gonna play on impossible mode. Alright, which only one save slot available and one life. And we're gonna do it with only the plasma cutter. So we get unique rewards for beating it. Here we go. Impossible one gun. Yeah, I've got a long history with this game. I've beaten this game to death. Now the remake is vastly different from the original. I noticed that a lot when I played through the remake. But the core concept of the game should be the same. The routing might be a little bit different, but we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see. You know what? If I die, I'll keep recording my attempts. I'll start over and call it like attempt 2 and so forth. I wrote a strategy guide for this game back in the day, like 2009, 2010. I wrote a 99.5 page full in-depth strategy guide in text on how to beat the game on impossible with only the plasma cutter. That guide is probably defunct because of the remake. Specifically, not because like the age, but because combat encounters, they kind of did this thing in the remake where combat encounters can be randomized. You're not always going to encounter the same number of enemies or the same type of enemies in the same spots. So every playthrough is going to be different. What we're going to do is we're going to structure this as a video walkthrough slash my first time doing it impossible on the remake, and I guess like an archive of how many attempts it takes me to beat the remake on impossible with only the plasma cutter. I don't know if I can only save one time or if I'm just allowed one save slot. Like I can't roll my saves like you can in Resident Evil 4 with the typewriter. But we're gonna find out. And I did change some options. Like there's an option for QuickTime events where you only have to press the button once and then you win. I disabled that, so any and all QuickTime events I have to button mash the entire time. I felt like that would be too easy, too cheesy to just ease through the game, because I didn't see anything about impossible mode like overriding it. But we'll see. I did disable it though, so I got a button mash. We gotta get through this whole opening sequence. And I love that Isaac talks in the remake. And then Gunner Wright reprised his role. It gives him more character. It gives him... Being silent protagonists are cool and all, but I like Isaac as a character. I love the Dead Space franchise. Dead Space 1, 2, even 3. A lot of people poop on Dead Space 3. I don't mind it. I like it. It's kind of goofy, but I like it. It was fun. Dead Space 3 is definitely my least played, but I did beat Dead Space 2 on Zealot difficulty, and I did beat Dead Space 3 on hardcore.
Everyone okay?
Which is kind of similar to this. You can only save 3 times, and if you die, you go back to your last save. This one, I'm assuming I can only save 1 time. And if I die, that's it.
Good call on the stabilizer, Isaac.
Gotta always read the manual.
What the fuck's going on with flight control? That guidance system's a death trap.
Better add it to your repair list. Jen, what's our damage?
Comms are down. We lost port booster. Got a fire in one of the stabilizers and singularity core's a mess.
They really improved all the characters
Let's get some help.
in this remake.
Stay with Kelly.
Especially Kendra.
Everyone else, with me.
Kendra and Hammond both. Alrighty. I kept tutorials on. I don't know why. But isn't there supposed to be a med kit? I know there's like a small med kit there in the original. And L1 is no longer sprinting, I don't think. You used to just be able to sprint around from the very get-go. Trying to find Peng. I believe it's down there. You can see it. Yep, right there. And that right there. That little flashing red light. That is Peng. I do believe. That might be a text log, actually. I don't know. That's where you find it in the original. I don't remember the remake a whole lot.
Let's get this done, Isaac.
But man, this looks good.
We'll get signed in.
I'm playing on performance mode, so it's not quite 4K, but it is 60 FPS. Which, I don't really remember the original Dead Space having poor frame rate. Even on PS3, I think it was a pretty stable frame rate. Which is phenomenal, because the PS3 was not a good platform to develop.
Collect kinesis and stasis modules from Acting Chief Engineer Jacob Temple. Location? Error. Employee not found.
I can't reach security.
Same for the chief engineer. What is wrong with their comms?
I have no idea how long this series is going to take either. It's only 12 chapters. And just be aware, it's a dark game. Not just in terms of like visuals, which YouTube compression is, it's gonna throw a fit with the flashing lights and the darkness. YouTube compression is just gonna eat this video alive. But it's also dark in like themes, so there's lots of violence, obviously, but there's a ton of like self-harm and suicide stuff. Murder.
Security console's still working. Isaac, get
So the game is dark in more ways than one. Yeah, I'm so used to being able to sprint through this. We're not gonna collect all the stuff. I still want to get the platinum for this version,
Shit.
but
It's not just comms with the guidance system. Half the Ishimura's
I'll have to work on that another day.
all the trams. Could do that kind of damage to a planet cracker.
And the ship is huge. I love how they made it like open world kind of. There's still a tram system, and but it's like seamless and it's like more open.
another malfunction.
You have more freedom for
The quarantine system.
maneuverability, and you can backtrack. Actually, you're almost forced to backtrack if you want to get all the collectibles and stuff. We've got no armor, and Yeah, we've got no armor, limited inventory, and like 4 health slots. So, come on, open the door. Oh, it's a double door. I forgot it's a double door. And the original is just one door. And yeah, I'm not used to clicking and holding the stick to run. Usually it's just like press LB or L1 and you can run away. This is when you gotta click and hold the stick. It's kind of like Resident Evil 5. I will be able to provide some tips and strategies along the way as best I can. Mostly from memory. Memory of the original. The original will be forever ingrained in my mind. Here we are. Our one gun for the whole game. We're gonna upgrade the heck out of this baby. The blood loss everywhere is like super unrealistic. Alright. Like the amount of blood that's inside of a human body is less than what's on display here. I gotta get used to all the controls again. Yeah, I gotta get used to all the controls. Oh, there's trigger effects. The haptic feedback. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to the trigger. The trigger itself, you have to like pull it. Oh boy. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be real fun. Huh? Alright. And the camera's a little bit different too. The camera feels weird.
Security request retrieved.
It died. We shot that fucker right between the eyes and it didn't die. Smith had to shoot its fucking arms and legs off. For God's sake, send help!
Now, if we open the inventory. Oh, okay. The gun takes up an inventory slot. I don't think it did that in the original. I think it just took up a slot in the weapon wheel. I don't think it actually took a real inventory slot, but I guess it does. So we're gonna have to accommodate for that. I mean, we're not gonna have 4 weapons, so we're not gonna have to worry. We're only gonna have 1 weapon.
Oh my god, Isaac. You made it.
Just
So I guess that helps.
Jim is here.
He's gone. Nothing I can do.
We only have to worry about 1 ammo type.
The ones I saw, some of them were wearing a shimmering.
That was one of the bad things about Dead Space 3 was all the weapons use the same ammo.
We need to
I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's bad because it's generic, but it's good because you don't need to worry about balancing multiple types of ammo.
And you're both repair techs, so how do we do this?
So we're good. Wait, how much air do I have?
There's a broken tram car blocking the
70
tunnel.
seconds.
Gridlock the
0%
system.
armor.
And the data board's burned out. I can't lift the lockdown or call the tram until we get a spare from the maintenance bay. But it's all on Isaac's side of a quarantine.
I'll handle it. Just make sure there's power to the repair systems.
And Isaac,
Yeah?
I'm sure Nicole's okay. She's a doctor, right? She'll do the smart thing.
Yeah. Yeah, she always does.
Perfect.
Find somewhere safe. I'll be back soon.
Open the door. Come on. Alright. Yeah, this game gets real dark. Darker than the original, I think, too. Yeah, the camera, like the movement, feels different. But I think I'll get used to it. Circuit breaker. Cargo hall storage. So yeah, this is new. This is new to the remake. Having to reroute power. Huh? I heard something. I got my volume kind of turned down. Get a power node. We're gonna need those. Is there anybody out here? Hello? Alright, maintenance bay. I could have swore I heard something jumping around and yelling.
Don't bother shooting those fuckers.
In this room.
Doesn't even slow them down.
Okay. The only way is hacking them apart.
Those arms, their legs. Does that even kill them? Or do they just stop moving?
Isn't there supposed to be a guy coming? Yeah, and we can use these tanks to easily take them out. The med kit? There's a trick to the med kits. I'll have to show that off. Okay. I guess shooting him in the leg didn't really work. Wow. Yeah, I'll show you a trick with medkits. I'm gonna get hit a couple of times. It's bound to happen. I'll use that one. There's a special... I mean... It's... I've always done a particular thing with the med packs. Just because it's helped me out and it's what I'm comfortable with. But... we'll take it as we go. Come along down here. Don't stomp on the explosive canisters, by the way. Yeah. And always be ready to run. Always. Because you never know when there's gonna be a monster. Just know where your escape routes are. And you'll be fine. Another small med kit. Call the elevator. Is there anything else? No, I have to go up here. Because I gotta reroute the power. That's right. Beautiful. Yeah, the explosive barrels are very helpful. So he's already dead, right? Yeah. I keep wanting to press triangle to load my inventory. If you break one of their legs, they'll crawl. Then you can usually take off one arm and you'll be okay. That's the best strategy. Take off a leg, then go for their arms. Although, if you disable their forms of attacking, then they can't attack, so the game doesn't know what to do, so it just kills them. So if you take off both arms, they will die. But if their legs are available, then